Some of the most important yoga poses are also the most accessible. In this class, we'll explore 5 foundational poses that support strength, circulation, spinal health, and nervous system balance. Simple movements, powerful benefits. Let's begin. Some yoga poses become popular because they look impressive, but the most important poses are often the simplest ones. In this practice, I'm going to show you 5 foundational poses that support balance, spinal health, nervous system regulation, circulation, and overall well-being. These are poses that almost anyone can benefit from returning to again and again throughout life. Sometimes the simplest movements create the most powerful results. Let's begin.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm going to be your guide. Here is the 5 most important yoga poses you should know. Now, let's just clarify, these are the 5 most important poses that I think everybody should know. You can choose other ones, but I'll explain to you why. First pose we're going to cover is mountain pose. It seems simple enough, you're just going to stand still. But in fact, standing still is probably one of the most difficult things that we can do in our day. Sometimes we get going at such a rate, at such a pace, the mere act of standing still feels uncomfortable. And so what mountain pose teaches us is how to just be still, be calm within our system, and get in touch with what's going on in our bodies. To go into mountain pose, you can either have your toes together and the heels slightly apart, or you can just have your feet hip width apart. The main thing to consider is to make sure your knees and your feet are in the same direction. I'm just going to demonstrate with the feet apart at hip width. Go ahead and take your arms out to the side and have your palms facing forward. The reason we have our palms facing forward is it keeps the heart and lung meridian open. So your heart and lung meridian runs down the outside edge or the lateral edge of your arms. When we have our palms facing behind, we've crossed the radial bone over the ulna in the lower arm, and we've effectively now closed off that meridian. By having the palm facing forward, now the meridian is open. So when we stand up nice and tall, palms facing forward, we stack the head up over the shoulders, shoulders right up over the hips, and now take your thoughts, take your sensation down to your feet. So the only thing that's connecting you with the earth right now is your feet. You're going to locate the 4 points of your feet. So there's a point that's below your big toe and a point that's below your little toe. Go ahead and draw a straight line, just visually in your mind. Now locate the point that's on the inside of your heel and the outside of the heel. And once again, draw an invisible line with your imagination between those points. So you can feel maybe your weight shifting a little bit to back onto your heels and then spreading the weight out a little more evenly throughout the 4 points of the foot. Inhaling to stand up nice and tall, keeping the neck nice and straight, looking straight forward. Exhale fully and completely, just nice and calm, nice and quiet. Just feel yourself coming into a state of rest in the standing position of mountain pose. So you're strong like a mountain, steady like a mountain. And it seems like a very simple thing to do, but there's a lot of benefit to just standing nice and still in this position. Beautiful work. So if you feel yourself rushing around a little bit too much during the day and you just need that little pause, go ahead and just go into mountain pose. Simple, easy, and very effective. The next pose I would consider to be One of the most important poses in yoga is the downward dog. So to go from mountain pose, I'll start at the top of my mat. And you can come along with me as we go through these next section of poses. You're going to inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale as you come on down towards the mat. So you're going to swan dive down toward the mat. Land your hands directly below your shoulders. Step back with the left, step back with the right. Or you can step back with the right, step back with the left. Either way is good. Take a big inhale and an exhale as you allow your head and neck and chest to bob towards the mat. Now what we love about downward dog is you get a full stretch in through the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. It's also considered an inversion pose, so you're getting lots of oxygenation to the brain. In addition, we're also stimulating and toning the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is very important for enacting the parasympathetic nervous system, so that's the state of relaxation. Downward dog is a really good pose for before bed, because it'll put you into that parasympathetic nervous system state. Take those big inhales and exhales. And exhaling it out. If you can't land your heels on the mat, that is perfectly fine. So if you're up on your tippy toes a little bit, that's just fine. Just know that that's because your calves are stiff. Your hamstrings are a little stiff. And once they get a little more flexible, your heels will start to come down toward the mat. So don't worry about whether your heels land or not. The idea is just to allow yourself to come into a nice, relaxed state in downward dog. Beautiful. Now, as you come out of downward dog, I want you to look up at the top of your mat and then just tap your knees down onto the mat. There we go. Reposition your hands now and come on into all fours. This is going to lead us into pose number 3, cat-cows. Now, technically, cat-cows are two poses, the cat and the cow. But when we combine them, they become a lovely movement to activate the spine and energize the spine. So to start with cat-cows, once again, we come right down onto all fours. Have your face looking straight down to your mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, now you're going to press your spine up toward the sky and bring your forehead down towards your thighs. Tuck in the tailbone and arch up toward the sky. Now inhale, release. Drop the belly, lift the head, coming into cow. So this is where we sync breath with movement. And the reason I love cat-cows is because it's very energizing and relaxing for the spine. Exhale, curl forward. Curl your forehead down towards your thighs, tuck in the tailbone, and arch your back up to the sky. Press, 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 press. Good. Inhale, release. Drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale to bring the forehead down toward the thighs into cat. Once again, press, press, press as you arch your back up toward the sky. Even tuck in the tailbone and lift your navel up toward the spine. It really gives you a little bit more of a nice arch. And then inhale once again, drop the belly, lift the head, come on into cow. So in cow, you're going to feel that nice stretch across the chest. And exhaling, going into cat. To stretch that spine out, all those beautiful ligaments and tendons around the spinal column. So it's wonderful, wonderful poses to do, set of poses for the spine. Inhale, come back to neutral, and exhale it out. Pose number 4 is child's pose. From here, you can just go ahead and tap your big toes together. Sit back on your heels and either have your arms up overhead. Drop down to your elbows and allow your forehead to come down to the floor, as close to your knees as you can. And then you're going to take those nice deep inhalations and exhalations into the belly. And really create a lot of space in the low back and the sciatic region. Now with child's pose, you may also take your arms down by your sides. So if you curl your arms down by your sides, allow your forehead once again to come to rest on the mat. And when your arms curl over your, curl down by your sides, now you get a good rounding through the, between the shoulders. So it's very relaxing, very relaxing. This is also a great counter stretch to do if you've been doing back bends. So we'll want to counter stretch. And the beautiful thing about child's pose is not only is it very relaxing, but it also encourages humbleness. You take those nice deep inhalations into the low back and belly in child's pose. And exhaling fully and completely. Beautiful work. It's very relaxing in child's pose. So if you're feeling tense, maybe rushed, maybe you just need to get a little sense of loving yourself, just go ahead and come on into child's pose. Good work. And when you go to inhale now to come out of the pose, inhale to draw the upper body back up into the seated position, just on your heels. And exhale fully and completely. Beautiful. And number 5, my choice is ragdoll. And I'll show you from here how we get into ragdoll. Go ahead and once again land your hands directly below your shoulders. Take your feet out to the sides, dig in your toes. Take a nice big inhale as you look straight down at your mat. And exhale, start to pick up your knees and hips and come on into downward dog. And exhale it out. Good. Inhale, look up at the top of your mat. Exhale, take a hop, skip, or a jump. Come on up to the top. Just land your feet right between your hands. You can go ahead and have your knees bent if straightening them out is not available to you at this point. Now what we want to do with our feet is we want to take them out about hip width apart or a little bit like fist width apart. Bend your knees generously and drape yourself right over your thighs. That's the way. Drape yourself right over the thighs. Once you have yourself established, and if it's available to you, go ahead and pick your arms up and hold your elbows with opposite hands. You're going to take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, you're just going to feel the spine lengthening up. And so what I love about ragdoll is it gets us up off of our discs, which are the little spongy discs between they're the spongy discs between our vertebrae. So when we get up off our vertebrae, get up off our discs, we allow that sponge to return to normal. It's also an inversion pose, considered an inversion pose. So we're getting all the benefits of the oxygenation to the brain. It's very relaxing. And it opens up also the hip area, the sciatic, taking the pressure off of those big nerves and giving us a better overall sense of well-being. Beautiful. Take those big inhales. Is where you begin. And full complete exhales.
sink down, let's stretch out. Good. Now when you're coming out of ragdoll, inhale to straighten up the legs. Place your hands just right below your knees and straighten the arms. So you're going to come into an L shape before we stand right up, because we've been in the inversion pose. We don't want to get up too quickly. We just want to let the blood return to the body gradually before we stand right up. So if you just pick your head up a little bit and just have your head just a little bit above the heart, get the blood to drain back into the body gently, so we're not doing it all in one big fell swoop and then make you feel dizzy. So we want to inhale deeply. Exhale, now you can just come into a little forward bend. Now you can see you've got your hips nice and straight. Tap down and then inhale, come up to standing. And you can go ahead and bend your knees if you need to as you come up to standing. Come on back to mountain pose, roll your shoulders up, bring your palms to face forward. Double check that your knees and your toes are facing the same direction. Double check your posture, that your head is stacked up over the shoulders, shoulders up over the hips. Taking those nice big inhales and full complete exhales. And so there you have it. That would be my 5 top yoga poses for everyone to do.
The foundations of yoga are often the most valuable to return to. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for practicing with me.